You're listening to the official podcast of Bloodstock Open Air Festival. Bloodstock Radio.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Bloodstock Radio, the official podcast of the Bloodstock Open Air Festival. This is podcast number 54 and I am going straight into it, as tonight we are rounding off our Metal to the Masses winners interviews with 4 great interviews with our winners from Poland, London, Bristol and Birmingham. We'll also have some signing tent news for you sandwiched in the middle, but let's get started straight away with Psychotype from Poland.
A Bloodstock Metal to the Masses tour update.
Okay, next up on Bloodstock Radio, we are going overseas for one of our Metal to the Masses winners, because the winners over in Poland were Psychotype. How you doing, guys?
Hey. Hi. Thanks.
So congratulations, you have won the Poland Metal to the Masses and you are going to be playing at Bloodstock. So excited, yeah?
Yes, thank you so much for congratulations, and we are very expressionless for this interview. It's the first interview in the.
And for us, this is of course really big. It's concert, and
it's a very big festival in Europe.
So we are really exciting.
Cool. So tell us a bit about your band. How long have you guys been together, and what type of music do you play?
Yeah, it's Psychotype. It's born in Norway, not Poland. 2 years together we record with White in the Stage. 2 of my friends, it's Psycho T and Psycho G. We play in incognito in the stage with the mask. We don't have any names for the people, and only nick names. And we start working for the first album, The Way to Kill For. It's 1 year ago, and now we playing shows in the Poland, and we start in the Europe, in the Czech Republic, and in the Bloodstock too.
Yeah, we have actually one festival in Czech before the show in Bloodstock. We try to prepare everything because there will be a lot of people, so we try to play 100%, maybe 200%. So we are really excited about that. But we can tell something about the band. So what kind of music we play? It's hard to say because it's maybe like
new metal. New metal.
The people can call this that we play new metal, but it's something like between the thrash metal, new metal.
Okay. What kind of bands are you influenced by? Are there any bands that you would say that you're kind of similar to, sort of bigger bands that people may have heard of?
When we record the album and our friends, they hear this album, and some guys just told, okay, it sounds like Slipknot. Another guy thought it's like this is something like Disturbed. Another guy just told about Korn.
That's good, that's fine. That gives us some sort of idea whereabouts we are, because we have a lot of different genres at Bloodstock, so we just try to give people a rough sort of feel for roughly where your band is at. So how did you hear about the Metal to the Masses, and why did you enter it?
We find this Bloodstock
in the club, in the Rude Boy Club.
Yeah,
1 year ago. It's next year. Go to the final. Maybe it's possible. You play in the very big festival in Europe.
Big chance for us, and we tried to get some information about the Bloodstock, and I saw in the YouTube, but really good and really big festival.
Yeah, it is, and we got lots of big bands playing, and you had a big band there in the final, I believe. So I was quite surprised by that, because the date of the final changed to be a week later, and then all of a sudden I saw that Decapitated were playing. So how was that, playing alongside Decapitated?
Yeah, we know the guys we know each other with Decapitated because when we was playing in the another band, so we know the guys, and we was playing with four with Decapitated, but we are of course big fan of Decapitated, and it was really amazing playing with these guys. And Decapitated is for me actually is one of the best bands in the world. And when we playing with this band, we can see how we should play, how play the best,
Well, but you'll see lots of other big bands at Bloodstock as well that weekend. So are there any other bands that you're looking forward to seeing? Because I believe you're playing on the Saturday, so you've got Cannibal Corpse and Gojira going on after you as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited because I'm a really big fan of Cannibal Corpse. Gojira too, but Cannibal Corpse is almost the best band in the world for me.
Oh.
Well, I'll tell you what you need to bring with you. You need to bring a Hawaiian shirt because we're having a big dance during the Cannibal Corpse set from the film Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
I know the film.
So you need to make sure that you bring Hawaiian shirts with you, okay?
Yeah, of course. We'll do this.
Cool. Have any of you been to the UK before or played over here before?
Our drummer played a lot of time in UK. I've been in UK, in London many times, and I have family in London actually. We have friends in London. I have friends in Bristol.
Okay, well, make sure that you bring all of your friends from London and Bristol to come to Bloodstock to see you play then, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Cool, excellent. So, so then just finally then, to just finish it off, can you tell our Bloodstock listeners why they should come and see you guys at Bloodstock? What can they expect to see from a Psycho-type show?
I think they can expect everything. We will try to get from us everything, and it will be amazing.
Yes, we promise that we'll give 1,000%, and we have prepared a few surprises for the people in the Bloodstock.
Excellent. That sounds great. Well, we look forward to seeing you at the festival. So we'll have a listen to some of your music now. Thanks for talking to us, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you.
So this is Psychotype with Follow My Way.
Hysteria, I hear every day. You keep on complaining about things to come. All these high emotions you preach. Fuck up your condition, fuck up your condition. I don't give a fuck, I don't give anymore. I am frozen heart to the core. If you ever ask the words of wisdom. My love until you bow, you on your own, completely alone. That's why you follow my way. I don't give a fuck, I don't give anymore. I am
Okay, next up on Bloodstock Radio, we are talking to the next of our Metal to the Masses winners, and down in London, it was Dead Before Morning. How you doing, guys?
Hello, mate. How are you? Good.
Yes, I am very well indeed. Unfortunately, couldn't make it down to the final, but I did see you guys in the semi-final when you went through, and the standard in that was absolutely sky high. So I can't imagine how the final was.
Yeah, it was pretty mad. We all thought that the semi could have been a final, but as it goes, we went through and into the final. The final was just as mental, but yeah, it's just crazy.
Unfortunately, I haven't managed to get down to as many of the London Metal to the Masses. As you guys know, I've covered the London Metal to the Masses for quite a few years, and this is the first final I've actually missed for the last few years. So a bit gutted that I couldn't make it down there. But yeah, I was very, very impressed with the standard in the semi-final, and very, very tight, and it was really, really competitive. So yeah, you must be really absolutely delighted. You're going to be playing Bloodstock.
Yeah. I think the first thing, none of us could stop saying wow. I mean, it's not our first time doing Metal to the Masses by any means. This was fourth go, and each time, as we've said to people before, we've taken what we can from it and learned from it, and just again, we can't stop saying wow. It's mad.
It's been just over a week now, and it's like Steve said, we're just walking around about 10 feet tall. It really feels good. It really does. It's great. I know it's sinking in. You know what I mean? It's the sinking inside of it,
and a massive opportunity as well.
Oh, yes.
How many people are there at Bloodstock? And this is our shot to really show them who we are.
Well, that's exactly it. See, that's what we try to say, because obviously, especially in London, the Metal to the Masses is such a long process. It starts in like November, and you got all those heats coming through, and then you got your whatever he calls them, the quadra, tetra, quinta finals that he has, and stuff like that. And you have, I think there's something like 21 rounds altogether before they get to the final. So it's a long old journey, and a lot of bands sort of see that, Metal to the Masses, yeah, that's it, we're going to play Bloodstock, but that's not the end of the road. That's the beginning of the road. That's your springboard to actually get yourselves up there and get yourselves out there into the big wide world.
Absolutely. And it's, as we say, what an opportunity, and the work starts now. Really, this is a great leg up, and we've just got to make the most of absolutely every opportunity that comes our way.
Yeah, well, I think it's good timing for you guys as well, because obviously your album Killing Time has not long been out, and I have to say, I've literally got the CD sat here in front of me on my desk. The cover art is an absolute work of art. It's amazing and very, very relevant, obviously, with the little orange waffle that's over here at the moment. So yeah, just tell our listeners a little bit about this cover, because it's an absolutely brilliant idea. It's basically the world leaders around the table playing a game of Risk. So where have you come up with that, and who's done that artwork for you?
So that's my responsibility, unfortunately.
Right.
I had the idea, and we knew a local artist. She's very, very talented woman named Angelica Fellis. And I've never seen any of her paintings, but I've seen a lot of the work she does, and I'm thinking I'll put the idea to her and see what she comes up with. So just basically drew her a quick sketch. This is what the idea is. And it all went quiet for quite a few months, and we was really worried about what's happening. And she did admit to me at some point, she kind of looked at it and thought, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. But when we saw she sent me the final JPEG. She took a high-res image of it. I was absolutely gobsmacked. I couldn't believe the quality of it. And when you see the size of the painting, I think it's probably about 8 or 10 by 10. It's really quite small.
Yeah, that's it.
So to get that kind of detail and the likenesses of all those leaders is just. Well, you've seen it, Paul. You know what it's like.
Yeah, I'm literally looking at it now. I've got it in my hand. It's absolutely incredible.
What I like as well is when you go online and, you go into techno mode and start zooming in, you can see that's an oil painting. You can even right close in, the detail is just...
Yeah, she painted it in acrylic. We've got the original here. We keep meaning to get it framed and get it up on the wall, but... I mean, it's really great artwork, but we kind of, it's a bit of a weird situation because you want people to appreciate you for the music and not what's on the cover. Do you know what I mean, Paul? It's
exactly.
It's a great album cover, but do you know what I mean? It's that self-confidence thing that I think you start to pick up and grow with as our band has sort of evolved now to actually getting to the point where we can play on Bloodstock and show people what we do. You know, it's just, I can't speak highly enough for Metal to the Masses. It really is something worthwhile.
And the amount of work that goes into it. I mean, without all the people like Mick Wood and everyone else involved, it wouldn't happen. And to not give all these unsigned bands this opportunity and something to work for and a goal that is actually achievable, it's something that if it went would be sorely missed. And it's as we say, a huge opportunity for everyone involved.
It's also a goal. It's also a goal, though. It starts off as a goal, but each gig, well, you said, Paul, the semi was this year was like a final. Each gig, you get so lost up in it. It's only when I start going to the result, and you suddenly remember, oh yeah, there's another. Are we going to go through that? I don't know about you guys, but I mean,
it's a great celebration of the various different local metal scenes around the country. It is a great example of that metal as a genre is still alive and kicking in the underground, which is a really good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, you say about your artwork and the music. I've had to actually bring this CD in from the car because I've had it in the car for weeks and I've been listening to it for weeks, and the album's absolutely great as well. So don't worry about that as well.
Cheers, Paul.
Thank you very much, mate.
The text in the post, mate.
All good. We'll do a little bit of it at the end of this interview as well. But just tell our listeners out there what sort of music you play and how long you guys been going for and stuff like that, and what they can sort of expect if they want to go and check you guys out at Bloodstock.
Well, day before morning, we are a thrash, I suppose Bay Area thrash metal is what everyone says, but it's hard to say.
There's a little bit more to it.
There's more to it than that.
An out thrash band.
It's modern. We tend to sit down, write our music. We like to play a story. We like to tell a story. We like the music to be interesting, the rhythms, everything that's exciting about metal,
I think to a degree as well, you almost write what you want to hear.
Yeah.
As an artist, you're not trying to write what someone else has done, or obviously you take your influences and what you like comes out in what you play, but I think, you try and write what you want to hear, what sounds good to you, and I certainly enjoy the album. I think
you will hear Megadeth, you will hear Slayer, you will hear Maiden, you'll hear all sorts of stuff in the music. All we can say is just go out, check us out, and hopefully we can impress you.
Yeah, well, it's definitely my sort of thing. I mean, I was very impressed with you guys in the semi-final, and I'm a thrash fan at heart, but my musical tastes have changed quite a lot over the years, not a lot, but it was definitely my sort of thing. And looking at the lineup, I think it looks like you're on the Sunday afternoon, and I reckon you might possibly be up against the likes of Fozzy or Mr. Big on the main stage of that side. So if anyone prefers it a little bit heavier and that lot, then you might get a good crowd in there in the New Blood.
Cool, man. Yeah, that'd be excellent.
Cool. I've got to go up against Paul Gilbert. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, to be honest, he was a bit gutted that he might miss your set, so swings and roundabouts, mate.
Oh, well, there's swings and roundabouts too.
As long as Gus doesn't go off and watch the bass player for Mr. Big, we'll be okay.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, well, the only other thing I wanted to mention to you, we've got the opportunities that you get from Metal to the Masses as well, and I see that there's a Metal to the Masses Winners Showcase gig coming up in Coventry the week before Bloodstock as well, with the Coventry winners and the Norway winners and yourselves and the Leicester winners as well. So that's going to be a good little thing as well, where you're meeting up with other bands that are going to be, taking the same journey as you just a week later.
Yeah, I believe we're actually playing the Leicester. Is it the night before or the night after? The night before Coventry. So
Leicester Friday,
Leicester. So we're kind of doing Camden one night, then Leicester the second night, and then Coventry the last night. So little mini tour for us. Yeah, it'd be great to mix with all those bands that probably haven't got a clue who we are. So yeah, really, really looking forward to it all. It's going to be a real revelation for us.
Turning up at Bloodstock and the bands we've already met at the gigs the week before, it'd be nice to make people's acquaintance with the other band before we get there.
Yeah, and it's also it's almost like a sort of student exchange type thing, isn't it? Where you're all going around to each other's manor to sort of to bring different bands to different regions and that sort of thing, almost like gig swapping and gig sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for us as a London band, I mean, I suppose the one downside possibly with playing Metal to the Masses is it kind of restricts you on the gigs you can do around London. So being a London band, that's a bit of a nuisance. But that's by the by. I mean, for us to get gigs up north is very, very difficult, and for us to get invited to do 2 gigs up there is really good. We're really looking forward to what they play up there as well. You know, it's like we haven't really got much idea of what that scene's like. We played up there once or twice, but so like I say, Paul, we're really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. There'll be good gigs. I mean, I know the guys that put them on, the Coventry one. I was at both of those finals actually. I was at the Coventry final and the Leicester final, and Chris and Angel and Fargo put on the gigs at the Arches in Coventry, and that's a great little venue. Pelugium were the winners there, and then in Leicester it was Seven Hells. That was at De Montfort Hall. Was the actual final was held, but I think this one will be at Firebug. I think, and that's a great venue as well. Yeah, Simon Yarwood. Yeah, so again, big up to Simon and Angel. You know, they're both done us some real favours. From Angel as well with the PR thing. It's just again, it's a wow thing for us. It's like, wow, I can't believe this is happening to us. But you know,
I mean, we've been going since 2012. It's been an interesting time in the meantime of it, but putting all the work in, and then it finally comes to this and getting the opportunities we are getting for it. Again, it's wow. It's super.
I think those 3 particular, Mick and Simon in Leicester and Angel in Coventry and that and Chris, that they are really sort of pioneers of pushing these things forward. So the idea of it's not just the case anymore where you are literally playing to just go and play Bloodstock. You get PR packages, you get artwork, you get they have string endorsements. Mick has his guitar composite. You know, they all have these extra added things on it as well. And then when you've got things like this as well, where they're doing this sort of gig share thing, and they're bringing other bands round, and you'll also get, next year you'll be getting invited to go and take part in Metal to the Masses finals as guest headliners and stuff like that, because they do a lot of that gig swapping. And over the last few years, the Metal to the Masses franchise almost has really sort of encompassed that sort of teamwork aspect. It used to be quite separate and everyone did their own little thing, but now that they're a bit more of a centralised sort of thing, they do this networking a lot more amongst the promoters, and they do this swapping around. So, and that's only going to be to the benefit of the bands at the end of the day.
Absolutely. The whole Metal to the Masses thing, like you said, the whole franchise, is a fantastic thing for any band to get involved with. I can't stress that enough. It's, if you want to get somewhere with your band, get involved with M2M, and you'll be surprised what you can get out of it. Even if you don't win it, you're going to mix with other bands. You're going to, it's just every way's a winner.
Yeah.
Well, it's previous years when we've done it. I think every single year we've done it. We've met bands, and then within the next couple of months, been playing gigs with them.
Yeah.
So even if you don't win the ultimate prize, if you will, there's so much networking to be done, and really, really great contacts and gigs that you can almost guarantee, really, by making friends with so many bands. It's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, that all sounds great. We'll hear some of your music now, and congratulations. You're going to be playing Bloodstock, so well done for that. And we'll get one of you to introduce your song for us.
Right, okay. We'll see you all at Bloodstock. With Dead Before Morning, this is Succubus.
haunted. And curse your deep. It's so daunting. She takes you wild. Yell straight.
Festival news.
Hey folks, this is Chris from the signing tent at Bloodstock Open Air. I'm just going to take a minute to tell you about us and answer a few questions that we get quite often. First of all, we're a free-to-use add-on experience that has been part of Bloodstock since the days of the indoor festival. We're situated in the main arena next to the Ram Gallery. We've just announced our first batch of bands that will be joining us in the 2018, and we'll get back to that in a minute. Here's a brief answers to a couple of questions that we get quite often. How much is it? Free. Anyone who attends the festival can attend the signing tent. How does it work? You come up, you queue, you go in. It's pretty much that simple. We do have priority queuing, which means the Rock Society and the VIP go in first and second, and then the general admission people, they will go in third. All guest wristbands and artist wristbands are classed as general admission, so that's the queue that they would need to be in. Very important, we only allow one item to be signed from each attendee, unless we say otherwise. This is purely to save time so that we can get everybody who queues up through to meet the band that they want to meet. Will everybody get in? It's always the aim. Can't guarantee it, but it is always the aim. When we have the very large queues like for headline bands such as Nightwish, we do limit the amount of people that we let in to 50 people from each of the 3 specific queues. That will be 150 people in total. This is again purely because the time scale is very, very tight and the queues are very, very big. When a band's signing, all of the band's signing times will be posted up on our Facebook page before the festival, and they will also be posted on the actual signing tent at the festival each morning. Biggest question we get is, can I get a photo with the bands? Short answer is no. Bit more elaborate is, we do have our own photographer in the signing sessions, and their brief is to try and get a picture of everybody that comes through that signing tent. Sometimes we fail, people tell us when we do, and we do apologise. If anyone listening has any questions and wants to talk to us, just come and see us at the tent and we'll happily chat to you. So today's announcement: Monument, Evergrey, Devil Driver, At the Gates, Nightwish, that one's going to be huge, Septic Flesh, Venom Inc., Combi Christ, Gojira, also going to be huge, Onslaught, Memoriam and Wednesday 13 are the first batch of bands being announced for the signing tent. Thanks very much. Bye bye now.
And now on Bloodstock Radio. A Metal to the Masses winners interview.
Okay, next up on Bloodstock Radio, we are talking to another of our Metal to the Masses winners, and down in Bristol, the winners were Body Harvest, and we're talking to Jake. How are you, sir?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How are you?
I'm very well indeed. Yes, we are nearing the end of our Metal to the Masses coverage for this year, and have to say it's been a bloody long road since Coventry. But Bristol was the final weekend. So yeah, congratulations. You're going to be playing at Bloodstock.
Thank you very much.
I'm assuming that you've had a little bit of time to sink in now and that. So yeah, how are you guys feeling about it? Are you ready for it yet? Have you got things to sort out, or are you all ready and raring?
Oh, we're definitely ready and raring. You know, like you said, it's still taking a while to sink in. I don't think it's completely sank in properly yet, to be completely honest. But we're definitely ready to go, ready to give it our all.
Cool. So have you, I know that Dan, your bass player, is also in Mortishead as well, and we'll mention that again later on. So obviously he's played there before, but have any of the rest of you been to Bloodstock before? And do you know the festival?
Yeah, our other guitar player, Gaz, he actually plays in Ageless Oblivion, and I think it was 2015 they played on the Sophie stage, so he's played before. And yeah, all of us go to the festival every year. I've been going since 2010 myself. I think Gaz has been going longer, and the other two have been going probably about the last 4 years. So, you know, It's a festival we all love and all go to every year, so to be playing it is an honour.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a bit about Body Harvest, and what type of music do you guys play, and how long have you been going for, and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, the music is basically straight up death metal. Our sort of approach is to be faster and more intense than the band before us, which I think we pull off very well. Yeah, and it's just, it's a lot of blast beats, a lot of crazy guitaring, guttural vocals, high screams, all the horrible stuff everyone loves about death metal.
Yeah, well, absolutely, and that always goes down very well at Bloodstock, and especially in a tent as well. So
yeah, absolutely,
it should suit the new blood pretty well. So we mentioned that Dan is also in Mortishead, and they're playing on the Friday. So I've specifically requested that you clash, so that he's got to run backwards and forwards between the Sophie tent and the new blood stage, playing his bass like right the way between the two of them, which should be quite good fun.
Yeah, it's two different tunings as well. So yeah, we'll have good fun with that. I think Simon said that to him as well, trying to wind him up.
Yeah, cool. That would be entertaining, I think, to be honest. But...
Oh, it'd be amazing. See the little look on his face.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about the Metal to the Masses down there in Bristol, because obviously it's it's got bigger and bigger down there. I've been to some great gigs down in Bristol, and the scene down there seems to be pretty strong. Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm Bristol born and bred, but the scene is great down here. There's always gigs on all the time. The crowd, there's usually a big crowd at most of the gigs. There's everyone in the scene sort of knows each other, so it's just a really good shout, really, man. Really good crowd, really good gigs all the time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, have you guys entered Metal to the Masses before as a band, or is this the first year you've done it?
We have done a very long time ago. I mean, our band has gone through quite a lot of lineup changes until we've got this steady lineup that we've had for about 2 years now. But we're a completely different animal now to what we were before.
Yeah. Or would you say that now is a better representation of your band than it's been in the past? I mean, if you'd won it a few years ago in that lot, maybe you might not have been able to represent yourself quite as well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. I say that's 100% correct. Yeah, we're definitely, we're a lot more focused. We're tighter as a unit together. All the songs, sounding better than ever. It's just natural evolution for a band, really.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you there, and congratulations for getting there. So we're gonna play some of your music in a minute. I believe there's a video for this one as well, isn't it? Because we're going to play The Prophet, and I saw a recent video for that going out. So listeners, go and check that video out after you've listened to it on here as well. But I'll get you to introduce that into a sec. But just before you toodle off, tell our listeners why they should come and check you guys out on the New Blood stage, because obviously they've got a lot of bands to go and see and that lot. But why should they have a look out for Body Harvest on their Clash Finder and head over there?
Well, if people like their death metal fast, aggressive, and in your face, come and watch us, because you won't find anyone as fast as us or as heavy like Weekend.
Okay, cool. That sounds a good challenge.
Yeah, there you go.
As fast or as heavy as us. So, yeah. Do you know what day you're playing yet?
Yeah, we're playing on the Friday, so
right.
we are playing on the same day as Dan as well. So
cool.
in Watershed.
Yeah, cool.
Definitely.
Okay, well, thanks for talking to us, and congratulations for getting there. And I'll
Thank you very much.
Introduce your song for us.
Yeah, we'll do. This is a song off our upcoming new album, Parasitic Slavery. It'll be out very soon. This is The Prophet.
Okay, next up on Bloodstock Radio, we are talking to our Metal to the Masses winners from Birmingham, which was the last one of the run. So we're talking to Cheyenne from Trivax. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be speaking to you.
Yeah, well, I say we try to talk to all the Metal to the Masses winners, so we're just about done now, because Birmingham is traditionally the last Metal to the Masses final that we had. So yeah, we had that a couple of weeks ago in that. So congratulations, you're going to be playing at Bloodstock, sir.
Thank you very much. I can't wait.
Yeah, cool. So you guys have got a bit of a varied background, because you yourself are from Iran, and you've moved over here to actually play your music because of the restrictive regime over there. And we've heard a few interviews throughout this run of podcasts. We've got a roving reporter called Lena Metalina, and she's brought us interviews with a band called May Saloon from Syria and a band called Dark Phantom from Iraq. So we've heard a little bit about that. So it's great to hear from someone else that's actually experienced that. So was that your main reason for coming over here, for the fact that you weren't literally allowed to play your music in your country?
Absolutely, yes. I moved here in September 2011. And like you said, the metal music is not allowed to be played there freely. Metal, rock, or any kind of cultural expression that doesn't quite fall under the Islamic rules and laws. Because obviously religion and politics are mixed quite heavily over there. I don't regret making that decision at all. It's not been an easy journey at all, but it's been rewarding on a level that I couldn't have really even imagined before. Obviously, the music itself is not allowed to be played, or the restrictions are just very ridiculous. I mean, they're a bit more loose on the subject now, but it is in no way better than what it was like when I left, in the sense that you still get people obviously trying to put up live shows and things like that, but they just get cancelled all the time. There's always a problem with them. The culture police always has a problem with people, even with guys having long hairs or like shirts, or there's always something going on, and they're always looking for an excuse to try and blame you for something. And which is very unfortunate, because I think the country, well, at least used to have a lot of potential, and there's so many people who are interested in this kind of music. It's a shame, but I'm also very grateful that I was one of the few who were fortunate enough to actually be able to make it to this side. And now, 5 or 6 years later, we're actually playing Bloodstock Festival, which is a massive deal for us. And it's really good, for us, for myself, I just want to be free and play the music that I like, which is metal music. And we're doing that at the moment, so I can't complain.
Yeah, that sounds great. So we had Blackium from Lebanon played at Bloodstock last year as well. So we do have a bit of a background in this now. So it's great that we're getting more bands from around the world. And I say particularly, I think, because I'm a big fan of sort of underground music, but there's a difference between UK underground music, and there's a difference between underground music in countries where you can literally be thrown in jail for actually playing it, and for and people have been shot and things like that from the other interviews that we've had. So that's real underground. I mean, Lena herself, when we interviewed her, she was saying that she grew up in Lebanon, and they literally had to go over the border into Syria to actually smuggle music back into play. So she actually did a radio station, which was very brave.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So it's quite obviously we try to big up underground bands, but there's underground and there's underground. There's a difference when it's almost like a life or death situation. So it's great that you guys have got over here. So tell us a little bit about your band and what type of music that you play, and how many are in the band and stuff like that.
Sure, thank you. Yes, so as I said, I moved to England in September 2011, and obviously I could only do this on my own. I even came without my family and everything, and I think December that year, in fact, to be very specific, on 4th of December 2011, me and the two guys who are still in the band had our first jam. They are from Birmingham, because obviously I moved to Birmingham first. Yeah. That's Ben Sheldon and Matt Croton. Ben plays guitar and Matt plays the drums. Obviously, we started jamming then, and somehow by some miracle I'm still playing with the same guys. Just that we've had a few changes in bass players, and right now, funnily enough, obviously you mentioned the whole thing about Middle East. The current bass player that we have is from Syria, and me and him sort of share a very similar background, in the sense that one of the main reasons why we wanted to come over here was to obviously the cultural freedom and, just metal, and more specifically black metal music, So it's great to have someone like that in the band who actually obviously there's the guys from here who are just as passionate about music, but obviously it's been more available to them, But now that I've got this other guy who completely understands how I look at it, it's just like metal is to die for, you are hungry for it, it's like you go after it with all your passion and everything that you have. Yeah. Which has worked out fantastically. So yeah, that's the band itself. We're obviously, I myself play guitar and do the vocals, and the sort of music that we play is a very much it's like a very hypnotic force that brings out a lot of transcendence, and there's a lot of spiritual aspects to what we do, but all of this is done in the body of rock and roll, or more specifically extreme metal.
Well, we'll be hearing a little bit of it later on. We're hearing a song from your album. So what made you take part in the Metal to the Masses? Is it something that you've done before? Is it the first time you've done it this year? And what was your main reasons for getting into it? Was it just Bloodstock, or was it just getting some gigs or networking, or what was the actual reason?
Sure. Well, yeah, this is something that we had tried out before, but this year it's just like everything felt very different. And one of the main reasons was that we were having a lot of shows across the country in different places, and like hardly any hometown shows. So we thought, just to keep going and keep active, it would be a good thing to do. But at the same time, it was like the whole thing with Metal to the Masses was that we really didn't have anything to lose at all, because you get to play shows, which is what we're constantly after doing anyway. And then at the same time, you get the opportunity to potentially go through, and then more and more people will find out about you. And I don't know, just the whole thing is really great. You have nothing to lose entering the competition. And the whole thing seemed a little bit different to what it was before as well. It was just a good thing for us. We just wanted to stay active and have some hometown shows in between all of the other gigs that we were doing. And at the same time, we were like, this would be such a great opportunity. Like, what if we actually were to win and play Bloodstock? I mean, that would be such a great thing for us. And it just felt appropriate at this time of the band's career and the time that we have been active. And it just so happened that it worked out that we actually went through and won the competition, which is quite amazing, really. I can't wait to actually go on stage and do justice for everything that was obviously in the process of the competition.
Yeah, well, I'd say congratulations for getting through. Have you actually been to Bloodstock before, any of you, as punters?
Thank you, man. Yeah. One of my first proper live show experiences in 2012, which was Bloodstock.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of my favorite bands, which I had never seen before, were playing that festival, which obviously was Behemoth, Watain, Nile, Mayhem. I don't know, that lineup was actually really killer. My main reason of actually going into the festival was to watch Watain and Behemoth as well, because they were like bands that really influenced me massively, especially when I was back in Iran. And I just had a great experience. And I went again the year after as well. So I do have some really great memories from Bloodstock. I know exactly what all of the stages look like, so I kind of know what to expect. But yeah, it should be good.
Yeah, no, it will be, and of course we've actually got Watain playing there this weekend as well. So you can say that you're on the same bill as Watain as well, which is quite a good one for you as well.
Absolutely, we can, and yeah, that's very cool.
I think they're headlining on the Sunday, I think it is, in the Sophie tent. So you won't clash with them, so you'll be okay to go and watch them. So that's a good thing. So.
I was just going to say that I think it's all right. Like, the closest clash that we may have might be Emperor, but from what I understand, I think even if we were like the last band of the lineup, I don't think we would still really clash with them. So, it's great. Like you said, we can just say like technically we're all like, oh yeah, we're actually supporting Judas Priest.
Yeah, exactly. We're warming everyone up for Emperor and Judas Priest. So cool. Okay, so we'll hear some of your music in a minute, but just to finish it off then, what is it that you guys bring? What can our punters expect from a Trivax live show, and why should they go over to the New Blood tent on the Friday to go and check you guys out? What can you bring?
Just expect to see a band that really give it their everything. This music to us, it's not something that we started doing just for the sake of fun or a hobby. This is our life. This is everything that we have. And every time we are on the stage, it's like a sacred place to us. We give it our absolute best and everything in our heart and soul to make it as strong and as intense as possible. It doesn't matter if you're a fan of extreme metal, black metal, or not, if you're into power metal, whatever. I don't think that matters at all. I think that a lot of people who have seen us so far, they've always recognized the passion and the strength that lies within our music. And I'm sure that at Bloodstock, a lot of people will be witnessing that as well. I think if you just want to see a very honest, passionate band, then that's what you should be checking out, regardless of the genre.
Okay, cool. That sounds great. So yeah, we'll definitely get some people over there for you. I should think the crowds in the New Blood Tent are obviously really big. Black metal's a really big thing at Bloodstock anyway. So we'll check out some of your music now. So this is from your album Sin from November 2016. And if you want to introduce the song for us, that would be absolutely great. And thanks for talking to us and congratulations.
No problem, man. Thank you so much for having me. The song is called He Wended Off to Nowhere.
fans, for the fans. Bloodstock Radio.